What's up, my drive fam? Welcome back to the channel. In this week's episode, we're changing things up a bit, so come with me as I journey the streets of Jamaica. If you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel and leave us a comment. Let's get into the countdown. So in this first clip, you'll see one of the main reasons why you kind of need to hang back, especially when your light just changed to green, because of course you'll have persons like this who red means go. In this next clip, you'll see why it's important to ensure that you are in the correct lane, you are utilizing your mirrors before, especially when you're making turns, as the result can be costly. Again, when you're making turns, ensure that you're in the correct lane. This van is in the right lane, but you'll see in a moment that he's going to make a left turn. Absolutely no reason for that. Now, as drivers, we need to be aware of our surroundings, and pedestrians need to be aware of drivers. And yes, Jamaica has a serious jaywalking problem. Luckily, this driver was paying attention and an accident was avoided. Thumbs up to him. In this next clip, you'll see the need for you to check your mirrors before you make maneuvers like this. So in a moment, you'll see a taxi. There he is, using the right filter lane, but he's going to proceed to go straight. Now, after he does this little whole maneuver, he not only decides to go straight, but he then proceeds to stop in the left lane, partially blocking the lane. Now, this gentleman decides to use the bus bay to undertake, and when we move to the front cam, as you can see, he is going to become our next red light runner. Now, we know the struggles of navigating the streets, especially with these taximen, these busmen. This is another clear example of that. The moment you see that this taxi decides to cut over into the middle lane, right? And not only that, he then proceeds to go to the right lane, pushing this van over, and then comes back to the left lane. I cannot emphasize that two wrongs don't make a right. Mark X overtakes on the solid. Cam car decides to follow suit, both heading towards a costly accident. Red light runner number 3, and we're not done yet, because coming up, you see this taxi that's creeping in the left lane. He is going to cut over without any due regard for who is already in that lane. No regard. So this one is very interesting. So you're seeing the cars that are making a right turn in the filter lane. However, this car that's highlighted there decides that he's not going to go right, but he's going to go left, cutting across the two lanes that are going straight. That is very dangerous and very careless. In this clip, you will see the cement truck in the right lane. The cements are not strapped down, and people, this is the stretch going towards Arborview. On the daily, I realized that the trucks are always in the right lane. What's the reason for this? Now, a lot of accidents in Jamaica occur because persons just cannot wait. They're not patient enough to wait their turn. This next clip is a clear example of that. Imagine going 40 or 60 kilometers, and then this car decides to drive out on you. You know, if you're not paying attention, that could be. Now, this taxi, this has made not only an illegal turn, but it also did not yield to oncoming traffic. Now, these are the things that occur daily on our streets, and this is the reason why we have so many accidents. Now, Jamaicans have a lick me if you're bad mentality, and they come to the streets with that type of behavior because there is absolutely no reason for you to do this. None. Absolutely none. So in this next clip, you'll see we're using the rear camera, and this white car had to lay on the horn because this bus decided to come over without checking his mirror. In this next clip, we're approaching a traffic light on Camp Road. Our light is currently red. However, it is about to change to green in a moment, but there are cars still going through the lights. And this is the reason why it's important to hang back a bit, especially when your light just changed to green. We're approaching this car, which is the last one that would have proceeded to go through that red light. And in a moment, just based on this maneuver, you know, you clearly see that this person has no clue where they're going. So one thing I've realized about navigating these streets is that persons don't like to wait. They don't yield to oncoming traffic, and this next clip is a clear indication of that. And when you don't do that, when you don't wait, this can, you know, be the result of a very costly and expensive accident, which, again, could have been avoided if you just decided to wait for those few seconds. Wow, just imagine if we were speeding through the screen only to be T-boned by that trailer. Now, as we go around this corner, you'll see that there is something clearly wrong with this unit. When you have cases like this, it's best to try and get ahead of it or hang back. And as you can see, I attempted to make a pass on the left, but the driver drifted into that lane, so I decided to hang back. Now I'm proceeding to move over into the right lane. However, there's a car coming up who is also going to make an attempt to pass. However, you'll see in a moment that that attempt was not successful as well. So the driver is going to also hang back while we go around this corner here. Now, after clearing this corner, we are going to be approaching a traffic light. Alright. And in a moment, you'll see that a white car is going to enter the intersection. There it is, if you can see it. So that would be a clear indication that the light on this side is red, which would then mean that we need to be decelerating. However, as you can see from the smoke, the driver accelerates through the red lights, which is a very dangerous maneuver, because just imagine you are going about your day and a trailer T-bones your car at some 40, 50 kilometers per hour. You know, that can result in a very deadly accident. Now we're speeding things up a bit just to catch up back with the trailer. As we go around this corner here, you'll see that we're catching up back to it. And you can see that there is also still smoke coming from the rear of the unit. And as we move closer, you see that the driver is still failing to maintain his lane. Now, it's important that when you observe this type of driving, that you are aware of what's happening in your surroundings. you're either going to hang back or you're going to try and get out of there as quickly as possible, because you don't know what the situation is and you might be caught up in a situation that you don't want to be involved in. So people, just be aware of your surroundings and take the necessary precautions. Now, it's very important to not involve yourself in road rages, especially with the taxis and the buses on the road, because, you know, this can be the result, a very costly and expensive accident. And there you have it. Thanks so much for sticking with us this far. If you like what you see here, just leave us a comment, consider subbing to the channel, and catch you next time. Take care.
Catch them slip, catch them play. My drive chain, old